I try to read a book a week, so I went a little overboard. I got 6 books here. Keep reading. Hi, Terri Gillespie, and welcome to this month's new releases and my top picks for this month. So let's get right into it. The first is Double the Lies, and this is by Patricia Raybon. And well, I have never read Patricia before, and this is actually her second book in the Annalee Spain series. And I wondered if that would impede my getting immersed into the story, but it really didn't. She did a really good job of helping new readers to her second book in the series, really helped us to become engaged with the story. So the book actually will not be released until February 7th. So why am I doing this in January? Because Patricia is going to be my A2A featured author in February. So we're going to learn a lot about Patricia and more about her books and what's coming up in the future for her. So let's focus on Double the Lies. So one thing is I am always drawn to a new book, especially when I don't know the author. I'm drawn first to the title, and Double the Lies just really caught my eye. Then looking at the cover, I love the cover. And then you read the brief synopsis on the back. So I'm just going to read a little bit. Amateur detective Annalee Spain races the clock to solve the murder of a handsome young pilot before she is framed for the crime herself, and before his dashing twin falls head over heels for her, tempting her promised heart. Okay, so we've got a little romance and we've got some mystery. So what's really cool about this is historical fiction, romantic suspense, and mystery. But the time period, it's the first time I've read the time period of the Roaring Twenties. And if you can see by the cover, is we have a beautiful woman of color, and Annalee, not only is she gorgeous, but she is brilliant, and she wants to be a detective. So I've already read the book. I've already reviewed it on various sites on the internet, but I can tell you there's so many twists and turns to this story that I was really surprised by the ending. And I think you will be too. So highly recommend this. It comes in hardcover, soft cover or paperback, ebook, and audiobook. And this is published by Tyndale. Now, another thing I thought would be kind of fun in this series is if I read the first sentence of each book. So she starts out in chapter 1, and she loves Sherlock Holmes. So she has a little quote from the books of Sherlock Holmes, not the movies, but the books of Sherlock Holmes. You see that even a villain and a murderer can inspire such affection. Sherlock Holmes, The Adventure of the Stockbroker's Clerk. So this starts in March 1924, and here is the first sentence. The husband was handsome. Okay, I got to read the second line. A good liar, too. Okay, so that drew me in. Now, typically, as an author, I know that a potential reader, when they go into the bookstore, or they're perusing through the different internet sites, they're looking at the cover, they're looking at the genre, they're looking at the synopsis. But when you're in a retailer store, the first thing they want to look at after they've done all of that is they want to look at that first sentence. Does it draw them in? Now, it drew me in, and that's why I was able to read it very quickly, because I couldn't put it down. So that's Double the Lies. And remember, Patricia is going to be our featured A2A, author-to-author interview in February. So stay tuned for more about that. Next book. Okay. So this book already released, and it's by Laura Frantz. And I am a fan of Laura. And I've read many of her books. And so she's really good at romance. She's really good at history. And the name of this book is The Rose and the Thistle. The Thistle. And the back cover copy is, in 1715, Lady Blythe Headley's father is declared an enemy of the British crown because of his Jacobite sympathies, forcing her to flee her home in northern England, secreted to the Tower of Wedderburn Castle in Scotland. Blythe quietly awaits the crowning of a new king. But in a house with 7 sons and numerous servants, her presence soon becomes known. Okay, it's a beautiful cover, isn't it? It's really beautiful. And I actually get the back of the cover too. So there's Laura. And Laura is a Christie Award winner and the ECPA best-selling author of more than a dozen books, including The Frontiersman's Daughter, Courting Marl Little, The Lacemaker's beautiful, and A Heart Adrift. So let's read the first sentence. Okay. This is Whitehall, London, Monday, August 5th, 1918, 2130 hours. So what is that? That is minus 12. Oh, I should know that. I know that stuff. So 21 minus 12 is, oh, it's 9:30. Okay, it's 9:30 p.m. All right, here's the first sentence. Would the human destruction never end? Sounds good, doesn't it? All right. Now, this comes in, did I tell you with Patricia's book, it comes in hardback, softcover, ebook, and audiobook. I think I did, didn't I? Well, it doesn't hurt to say it again. So Laura's book, hardback, paperback, ebook, and also audiobook as well. I keep putting my finger over Laura Z in her name. And that came out January 3rd. So you can get that now. You can, with Patricia's book, you can pre-order that. And you know what? It means a lot to authors when you pre-order books. Or If you go to Goodreads, if you are active on Goodreads, be sure and click on there that you want to read this book. And that really helps authors as well. The next book is published by Revell, and it is Her Heart's Desire by Shelley Shepherd Gray. This is contemporary fiction, and this clearly looks like an Amish book, so I think that's a very safe bet. And let's see, it will come out in hardback, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. And this also was released January 3rd, so you can purchase this now. So the summary: a wallflower in her Amish community, Mary Margaret hopes a trip will offer her a chance to come out of her shell. When a chance meeting brings new friends and a gentle young man into her life, she imagines a whole new life in Florida. But will it all disappear once vacation ends? So this is the first Shelley Gray book that I've read, but she is a New York Times and USA Today best-selling author of more than 100 books. So Shelley, I'm really sorry that this is the first book that I've read. But it is this a series? I can't tell. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it's a series. But if it is, I promise I'll read the whole series. All right. Okay. Now, who does not like this cover, and who does not like this title? Dear Henry, Love Edith. And this is a debut novel, and I always like to support first-time published authors. And this is Becca Kinzer. And I already read it. It's really good. It's really good. And I've had some, laugh out loud moments. So many times my husband looked up and said, "What's so funny?" And then after a while, he just stopped because I just couldn't stop laughing. Yet it's deep. There's some really important themes in here, as well as great character development and great characters. So I've told you a lot about it, but I'm still going to read a little bit of the synopsis. After a short and difficult marriage, recently widowed Edith Sherman has learned her lesson. Forget love, forget marriage. She plans to fill her 30s with adventure. As she awaits the final paperwork for her humanitarian trip to South Africa, she accepts a short-term nursing position in a small Midwestern town. The last thing she needs is a handsome local catching her eye. How inconvenient is that? Can you guess what the guy's name is? Henry. So this came out in January as well. So if you don't see it on the shelves or you can't purchase it, be sure and pre-order it. I highly recommend this book. I gave it a 5-star review. And by the way, I also read Double the Lies, and I gave that a 5-star review. 5 out of 5-star review. Yes. So this is Becca's brief synopsis. Becca lives in Springfield, Illinois, where she works as a critical care nurse. When she's not taking care of sick patients or reminding her husband and 2 kids that frozen chicken nuggets is a gourmet meal, she enjoys making up lighthearted stories with serious laughs. Gotta love her, right? So let's read the first sentence in her book. And Tyndale did a wonderful job of producing the book. They just did a lot of fun little things. I don't know if you can see, but there are little notes here. Okay. Henry grimaced, not sure what irritated him more, the persistent ache in his knee or the relentless voice in his ear. Curiouser and curiouser. So we start out with Henry, but we do get to Edith too. And I love those names. I love the name Henry. And Edith, I haven't heard that name in a long time. So I don't know if I mentioned it, paperback, ebook, audiobook, and audio CD. So, and this one is probably available. If not, what do we do when we're in bookstores and retail stores is we go up to the counter and politely ask for it. All right. All right. Erin Bartels. Everything is just beginning. Now, some of you may remember I interviewed Erin a few months ago, and I have to say, I just finished this book this morning. In fact, I got up at 3:30 this morning and finished it. Erin Bartels can take a moment and she can make a whole story out of it. She could take a person walking down the street who has a rip in their jeans and carrying a guitar case on their back, and that will spark a whole incredible story that is just beautiful. Her other book that I read is The Girl Who Could Breathe Underwater, and I got it for the title, and ever since then, I'm just an incredible fan of Erin. And Erin is a Renaissance woman. This woman, I don't want to give away too much, but I can tell you that, well, let me read the synopsis. A down on his luck musician crashes a party and crosses paths with the accomplished and enigmatic young heir to a fading musical dynasty, forever altering both of their futures. So Erin has actually written some of the songs that the characters wrote. And then at the end, she has a surprise. You can actually listen to these songs being sung. So it's just incredible. And I won't tell you how. You'll have to buy the book because it's just so neat, so unusual. So Erin is an award-winning book, and she had award-winning author. She writes award-winning books, but she's also an award-winning author. She's a two-time Christie finalist and winner of two 2020 WFWA Star Awards. And she lives in Michigan, and so she won a Michigan Notable Book Award. And Michigan plays prominently in this book too, which I love. And it did also in The Girl Who Can Breathe Underwater. So this is published by Revell. And this one will release on the 17th. So it released yesterday because this is airing on the 18th. So you can purchase it. And I highly recommend you do that. So what is the first sentence? The first sentence is, I wasn't invited. Want to read more? Yeah, I do. I should probably make that clear right off the bat because I don't want you to get the wrong idea about me. I'm nobody special. I don't know anybody important, and nobody important knows me. I just happen to know somebody who knew somebody, or rather, I happen to have the same name as somebody who knew somebody. Ordinary, to extraordinary, to an extraordinary story. Highly recommend. Okay, the last book in my picks for January, and this one came out yesterday as well, and it's The Heart of Steel, and it is book 3 in the Blackstone Legacy. So you can see I've just started reading this book. It is historical fiction, and Elizabeth Camden. I have read other books by Elizabeth, and I have really enjoyed them. But she is known for her historical novels in the Gilded Age America, featuring clever heroines and richly layered storylines. Before she was a writer, she was an academic librarian at some of the largest and smallest libraries of America. But her favorite is the continually growing library in her own home. All right, so here's a summary of this book, Heart of Steel. When successful Let's do that again. When successful businesswoman Maggie Molinaro offends a corrupt banker, she unwittingly sets off a series of calamities that threaten to destroy her life's work. She teams up with a charismatic steel magnate, Liam Blackstone. But what begins as a practical alliance soon evolves into a romance between two wounded people determined to beat the odds. So, historical fiction, romantic historical fiction. So I already started this in the doctor's office this morning, and I know it's going to be good. So let's read the first sentence, shall we? And it has a prologue. You know, people have mixed feelings about prologues. I happen to like them, but, you know, I'm an author and I'm weird. So, prologue, New York City, 1890, Lower East Side of Manhattan. Maggie Molinaro was 5 blocks from the safety of her uncle's garage when she noticed the gang of boys following her. Okay, yeah. See, I would continue reading, wouldn't you? So I'm really looking forward to continuing to read this. I should have that read pretty soon. Now, as I said, this came out yesterday, and it's available in hardcover, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. So that's it. Those are I try to read a book a week. So I went a little overboard. I got 6 books here, but I hope you check these out, or at least 1 or 2 of them, and definitely stick around for next month when I interview Patricia Raybon. So that's it for our first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next month for my next month's top picks. And in the meantime, God bless and keep reading.